Welcome to an introduction to Winjit. The first thing to know about Winjit is that we are very focused on driving business growth for our customers, with technology being a means to that end. We believe that our customers do not need more software, but rather need results such as increased revenue, lowered costs, and an improved customer experience. Now, for purposes of today's presentation, we're going to use the manufacturing industry as a backdrop for many of the value propositions we discuss. But we believe that you'll see that almost all of these value propositions can be extended to any industry vertical or company in the markets. Now, if we look at manufacturing again, we will notice that there is an evolution that's been taking place. First, we see the manufacturers have made investments in improving their processes around Lean Six Sigma. They may have added certifications or even moved from an Excel-based environment to an ERP, CRM, etc. These have been very important investments. Second, they may have made early stage digital automation investments around mobility, 3D printing, robotics, motion control, etc. These are also very, very important and have added value. However, several problems still exist. This automation is still existing in silos. We still see departments working separately versus together. The data is very disparate and having to be still pulled back into an Excel framework with macros in order to have any real insight into it. The data visibility is also not real time, so a lot of the understandings are weeks or months later. And lastly, there's no real insight into data patterns or correlations, which is really critical to be able to make predictive analytics happen. And that's where Winjit comes in. We've got an entire Industry 4.0 roadmap to unify all these data sets, not just across machines and sensors, but across systems, connecting them all. We also digitally transform many of the manual processes within a company while empowering their workforce and limiting their human risk. Additionally, we have an Industry 5.0 roadmap that we can bring to bear if necessary. But all of this is intended to give our customers better, faster, more targeted business decisions. Now, we do this through platforms and a platform approach. We're again unifying data and bringing analytics out of that. So if we look at manufacturing again as an example, we will notice that there are many different departments, including operations, ones with machine control and electronics in them, others for quality around machine vision and even robotics. But all of these must come together ultimately into a single platform called Internet of Things in order for that data to be viable and not be disparate. And once that's done, we can actually then perform the artificial intelligence and machine learning analytics to give you better decisions. Now, when we approached IoT and AI, we had a very specific vision and one we believe is very differentiated. First and foremost, we built pre-integrated, stackable, and scalable platforms so that you as a customer could grow with us incrementally as needed. We also believe that you should be able to leverage all your previous investments. We do not believe in a rip and replace model, but rather we weave into your existing systems, tools, and processes, filling in the gaps and bringing different data sets together. We also allow you the freedom and openness to continue to grow and add to that environment as you choose, never being locked into any one vendor. We believe that, again, your current resources should be enhanced. We also believe that your deployment should be flexible. You should be able to choose what parts of your solution should be on-prem, which should be in the cloud or on the edge, and any combination thereof should be available to you. We believe in a single partner model, that you should not only be receiving the software, but also the implementation services and training in order to give you an end-to-end solution that mirrors your business challenges and goals while always focus on an ROI approach. Now, if we look at that vision in terms of offerings, you can see Winjit in two different areas. We have two different divisions. One is our emerging tech platforms division. Within that division, we have our software platforms, including artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, blockchain, and also computer vision for quality-based work. Now we combine that division with a second division called implementation services, where we do the actual integration for our customers not only with internal machine sensors and systems, but also connecting them externally even to their customers or partners. We also do the process digitalization of manual processes, as we've talked about, which is incredibly impactful to many, many companies. We then extend a lot of these solutions and capabilities into a mobile framework as needed. And lastly, we can make general product enhancements on things like fields or UIs where it's needed in order to now make the solution the most effective. But the key of this slide is to know that only if you have a company that brings both of these two capabilities together can you actually achieve an end-to-end solution, which is what most companies want. Now, we are cross-vertical in our implementations of AI and IoT, and we are global. And what that means is, although our focus is many times on manufacturing, we operate in all these other verticals and can bring the best practices of how AI and IoT are used within these other verticals to you. And that's a very, very impactful thought leadership value as well. Now, when we are looking at IoT and AI in terms of its implementation, we are looking to impact the entire business. We want to help impact the front end, for example, on order entry, which we do, as we impact marketing and sales by giving companies better results and better statistics to be able to use to go out there and get more customers. Operations and quality, for example, are par for the course in the manufacturing world. Of course, we focus very heavily on that. IT and OT systems are finally brought together and the silos are removed, as we discussed earlier. Finance is given insight, not just to revenue numbers, but more importantly to bottlenecks in areas that are actually causing the costs to happen and the loss of revenue to happen. Critical projects is a key area of help that we bring as well. COVID is a great example of how we've been doing that recently with a number of very creative applications. And lastly, we give management the insight into the overall business so they can support departments as effectively as possible. But when we do these rollouts, we take a very modular approach. And we do this in a way that allows you to just incrementally roll out IoT and AI in your environments. So we could maybe start on the finance side sometimes with some companies. We may then move to operations. We may then move to IT and OT. But regardless, we can do this very incrementally and allow you to absorb IoT and leverage IoT and AI within your environment as your business requires, and only at the speed that your business can absorb it. We do this with a 4-step engagement model. First, understanding customer needs, not just your challenges, but also your goals. We then can customize a demo that allows you to see where we could bring the most value in your specific environment. Then we will move into what's called a free POI or proof of implementation stage, where we will actually implement use cases, a smaller version of these use cases in a customer's production environment to demonstrate tangible values to them before they go into production implementation and do a full rollout based on their priorities. But the key here is based on a customer's availability and their communication, we can get production implementation started and a business transformation started within 30 days. We have over 15 years of global impacts to companies across 50 countries. We're very, very proud to say that we also have a decade of market recognition, and we continue to be recognized by independent third parties for our thought leadership in IoT and AI year after year. We appreciate the opportunity to share our value proposition with you, and we look forward to having deeper and longer conversations with you in the near future.